peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Fellow Africans, I took this petition to the court in order to stop any future usage of falsehood and false documents, procured witnesses of the Waki Commission. I took this petition to the court 4 years ago in order to make sure that the Chief Prosecutor of International Criminal Court does not use this evidence anytime in the future, whether tomorrow or 10 years to come, to refer to this evidence because the evidence was fake. It is with this dismay and with this courage that I took to go to court in Kenya to seek a judicial review and to redeem the credibility of both those accused and the victims of this catastrophe that occurred in Kenya, that I decided to seek to expunge this report from the reports and the statute books of Kenya. It is unfortunate that the three judges in Kenya, whom I will name now, Judge Kanyi Kimondo, Judge Aburil, and Judge Onyengo, all of them sat down and gave very silly, flimsy, prudish, sardonic ruling against our petition. I want to tell the Kenyans that I have done my best. I want to be on record that should this thing reappear again, don't call me. Should it reappear again, don't say I never told you. Should the Chief Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court use this fake evidence again against Kenyans, don't say I did not tell you. My role was to go and remove these obnoxious toxins from the books of the Republic of Kenya. I therefore want to tell the world that my torrid road, a long road that I've taken in search for this envelope, has ended in Kenya so far. But I want to announce that Kenya is not the only state party in international law. Kenya is not the only state party. I will in the future, very soon, detail to you which other state party I'm going to seek this envelope to be expunged and to be made public to the people of the world. I want to thank you all. I want to tell you that a detailed document which is entitled My Long Road, Torrid Road to Work Envelope will be found on www.panafricanforumltd.com. You can read it, you can dissect, you can see the days, the long road, what I took, what I did, referenced, well documented, and may God help you that at one time somebody in Kenya will stand up to say thank you very much.
We were way ahead of them in our civilization. They set out to destroy us. And Berlin Conference put the nail on that coffin. So they gave Djibouti the same sovereignty as the United States. They gave Burundi the same sovereignty as China. They gave Togo. You see, the EU realizes individual little countries, they can't survive on the world stage. So they come together as the European Union. Now picture this now. So they cut up this Africa into the tiny little countries, small economies that could never survive on their own, but gave them the same sovereignty as the big boys. So that way, when the little bitty countries go to the world stage for the purposes of development and discussing trade, they're wannabe boxers who are being thrown into the heavyweight boxing ring every day. How do you put China in the same boxing ring with Eswatini? Eswatini has 1.2 million people. China has 1.4 billion people. And you put them on the same stage and say, go at it, negotiate. Are you with me? Yes. This is insanity of the highest order. How have we allowed this carnage to go on? When Eswatini is thrown in the same boxing ring with China and Eswatini collapses before Eswatini even gets on the stage, the world says, well, Eswatini, what's wrong with you? Why can't you take care of your people? Well, China came in and said, Eswatini, give me all your gold or else. And if Eswatini does not agree, they just go on next door to Lesotho and give Lesotho an extra $1. And if Lesotho doesn't take it, they just jump on to Togo, Central African Republic. It was all by design. 1884. They did something else in addition to chopping us up. They also set out to make the African believe that everything African was bad and undesirable, and everything Western, particularly French and British, was more desirable. We call that the legacy of colonization. Prior to that, they had started long working on the slaves. Make them think everything about them, forget anything about Africa. Where you come from is a horrible place, diseased and dying people, constantly at war with themselves, uncivilized.
Way back in 1998, the late Secretary General of the United Nations by name Kofi Annan thought of an idea, brought an idea of saying the only way to bring world order where crimes committed that are not punishable in local courts, local countries, regional courts could be taken to an international crimes court. The Rome Statute and Rome Treaty of 1998 July was an offspring of already cooked DSGE intelligence system mechanism to keep Africa under check. Up to date, the French government pays 70% of the salaries of the International Criminal Court, from the porter to the judge to the prosecutor and the rest of the other people. This was a project of Kofi Annan and the Kofi Annan Foundation, followed by George Soros as an accomplice of Kofi Annan, brought in by Luis Moreno Campo and the entire system of the West, some countries in the West, to keep check on African countries that did not agree with the policies of the French and to their policies of Western culture. The International Criminal Court Chief Prosecutor Luis Moreno Campo agreed in all this that yes, he has been picking money, extra monies, and we followed the story together with my group in France, powerful investigators in France who worked together with me, and we found out that truly speaking, Luis Moreno Campo, Fernandez Gomedi, the former judge, the president of the International Criminal Court, laundered the money, some coming from American banks themselves. This evidence was put in the ICC. In the case of Bashir versus the chief prosecutor, I filed an application, which I still have, and which I'm going to publicize again, so that people can know that I was right. I've been vindicated because the American friends now have found that my credibility is real, that I was right when I stood up to say this court is corrupt. This court launders money, $17 million of United States money, laundered through Bahamas, through New York banks, back to Ocampo's personal assistant, by then called Fernandez Gomedi Silvia, who later on rose to the ranks of becoming the president of International Criminal Court. It has taken us time, energy, effort, resources to investigate the corruption scandal that have rocked the International Criminal Court. Why should African countries continue to be in the ICC, yet even the superpowers like America saying no, we have enough courts to try our own people? Viewers, it has taken Americans over 20 years to listen to our voices when we told Rainberger in Nairobi that this court is a corrupt court.
Today, on the eve of September the 11th, I want to deliver a clear and unambiguous message on behalf of the President of the United States. The United States will use any means necessary to protect our citizens and those of our allies from unjust prosecution by this illegitimate court. We will not cooperate with the ICC. We will provide no assistance to the ICC, and we certainly will not join the ICC. We will let the ICC die on its own. After all, for all intents and purposes, the ICC is already dead to us.
A case of the Kenyan people. These cases in Kenya, the chief prosecutor called Fatou Bensouda put serious statements at the end of the cases, discharge and termination. In legal language, these cases pose a very serious threat in the future. What the people of Kenya can do, and they should do, is today to wrap up the work envelope. Because until this envelope is sealed, thrown in the Indian Ocean, the chief prosecutor in the future will come and look for that envelope, use it to incriminate people again. It brings me back to the situation. America is sealing its journey out of the ICC. Why do you wait? Why don't you take this opportunity to seal your journeys out of the ICC? America is quitting, warning that it cannot no longer be a party to such an obnoxious court, a court that has no powers, that talks from this side and vomits from the other side, a court that cuts and pastes evidence, a court that buys witnesses, a court that incites incentives, gives incentives to witnesses of a passport and a relocation, then you tell lies about people. A court that sentences you as per the words there. Why should you leave a country that has a jury that checks on what the judges would do, the excesses of judges, and go to a country, a court that has no jury? Time has come for Africa to think. Do we need this court? Does Africa need this court?
First of all, let me thank you. I've prepared 2 papers which I believe will be circulated because they'll not be projected. But if you can see, first of all, I want to agree with the Honorable Minister. I've done 2 pictorials. One of them is described as Africa at the dinner table. And if you look at Africa at the dinner table, Africa is on a plate and it is meat. And the diners at the dinner table are France, the United Kingdom, the United States, the European Union, the Chinese, and progressively the Arabs. And my second picture is the African hotspots. It's not visible from there. But if you look at Africa today and you make a clean sweep with your mind, there are different conflicts of different intensity in Somalia, in northern Mauritania, in northern Mali, in Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, Guinea-Bissau, in the Cameroons, in South Sudan, and one can go on and on. And there is a sense in which Africa has always been alive to the question of interference. I will refer this audience, particularly those who are starting, to take time and read the 32 odd speeches that were made in the month of May 1963 by the then heads of states and government of independent African states, the 32 of them. And there are 2 speeches that I want to isolate for this presentation. One was by David Dacko of Central African Republic. And in thanking Emperor Haile Selassie and Kwame Nkrumah on that day, he said that we must never forget that the colonial power has not left us. We must recognize that he did not go willingly. And if we don't check them, they'll come back again. And what would little Central African Republic do against them? Today, he is right. Today, if we remember the activities of France and how they propped up the regime of Jean Bedel Bokassa, he was right. Today,
Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa TV, broadcasting all the way from Nairobi. Viewers, thank you very much for a good, beautiful weekend. You had all the time to think about issues that trouble Africa, to think about many other people, those who have gone to church this morning. Thank you very much for praying for this continent. Thank you very much for praying for Kenya, for Uganda, for Tanzania, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Britain, all these countries that are in turmoil. Thank you very much. Definitely you have a showdown here that looks at Africa. What ails Africa? What are the problems in Africa that we can look at? Today is the beginning of the season of Christmas. Everywhere, lights in London, in Washington, in New York, in European countries are triggered on 9th of November. It is the beginning of the season. It is a season in those European countries. That's why you can see me in a Christmas tree ceremony shirt that I want to use today as a symbol of the beginning of good hope, of hoping for a new child, a BBI child to be brought out today. And in Kenya, then, whereas in Uganda, we hope that violence, anything to do with elections, as you say, you are an expert on Uganda these days, and just a commentator. We want to wish everybody in South Sudan the best of best. Somalia looks a satellite state, creating more chaos around these countries. With me in the studio is none other than my good friend, my good sister, a co-presenter of Punchline Africa TV, the only station in Africa that talks it as it is, the only station that delivers. For example, we are going to deliver hard facts about the violence in the elections in Kenya. If you know you took part, be prepared. But we are going to give you an analysis of the origins, the root causes, because that's my subject. You can defeat me on the subject of conflict resolution. There are people waiting eagerly for BBI to come out. I think it will come out. And I've told people I don't know what it is, but all what I know is BBI is a redemption strategy. You can go to church and pray until God might not hear you. You can pray 2 million times, but if you have hatred in your heart, you are useless. You can pray. That's the truth. You're a sinner. When you're a sinner, when you go to church, pray that God forgive me. I trespass the others. But as soon as you leave church, you start trespassing us on Twitter, on social media, insulting us on Twitter all the time. Bravado style on Twitter, telling us how things are. No, you cannot lead. You can't. Even God cannot listen, I swear. Some of us who have lived here, whom God has spared to live here for 64 years, I tell you, he left us here because we tell the truth. If we tell lies, God would have taken us. Yes, so you can pray, even come down, pray upside down. In fact, sit in the church the whole year. But if you are telling the lies, God will not listen. Come back to the, come back, calm down. Don't create violence. Don't. We have been that journey. We've seen that journey. We know what it is. Today the topics are Kenya. As I read the other one, you read the other one. My dear sister, Kenya, violence in election. What are the root causes? We have the headlines here. Yes. They speak volumes. Ruto's Tower of Babel. Anybody who has read the book called The Prince? Have you ever read the book called The Prince? I can summarize it for you in my head. The Prince, Nikolai Machiavelli. Nikolai Machiavelli of Florence. Florence was a city of Sicily. Sicily was a state in the Roman Empire. The Pope, the Vatican, was a state on its own. Nikolai Machiavelli and Sicily and Florence was on the way to the Russia to the east. You remember Marco Polo, the traders who left the west, traveled all the way to China using the stars in there was no map. There was no atlas. There was no GPS. Nikolai Machiavelli became the strongman of the emperor of Sicily. But the emperor left him with powers to do whatever you wanted to do. But later on, the emperor found out that the Sicily was going to be invaded by barbarians under the Ottoman Empire. That was around that time, the wars of conquerorship, the Ottoman Empire, the barbarians. You remember Constantinople, all those things I can teach until. But in summary, the emperor said, Nikolai Machiavelli, go to Rome, ye. Go and look for the Pope and ask the Pope to give us support. Our empire is about to be crushed by barbarians. Nikolai Machiavelli, on his way to Rome, created an army. I will leave it there to summarize the standard newspaper headline. Not me. I am not Matanga who wrote. I am just analyzing, breaking it down inch by inch, soil by soil, because I read political science, not any other subject. Remember, I don't want to lie anybody that I can do mathematics. I can't lie anybody that I can do business. I can't. I can do political science. I can heal you politically if you listen to me. But if you go away, you will remain the Tower of Babel. Watch it and see. Put it on record that you might remain the Tower of Babel until you return to the real people and say thank you. Look at this. Machiavelli left, went to look for arms and other things, money. By then they were using coins and spears and armor and iron and so on. On the way, Machiavelli created an army. Left the army in the middle, went to the Pope of Rome, said we are bad off. It took Machiavelli 600 years to return. 600 years or those days, I don't know how they counted them. But instead of Machiavelli returning with the things, the help that Pope had given Machiavelli to return to the Emperor of Sicily, which was under siege. Economically, under siege. Socially, under siege. What are we experiencing today? The Emperor waited for Machiavelli. Machiavelli returned. That is the prince with an army to overthrow the emperor. That is why it is called Machiavellian politics. What we are witnessing today, and I've been on this television station every day telling you Kenyans, that there is a Machiavellian politics here, and you do not agree. It is coming out slowly, 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 slowly in Kenya. Look at that. The violence in Kibra, and we have to speak the truth, let the president hear. The violence in Kibra is in the Luya community. It was not Luo against Luya in Kibra. The money that was paid out by Luya leaders who went there, by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, they saw the queues in their areas finished. So people went to look for their money to say, I will give you money. What happened? They brought violence. Can it be that only Luya MPs were targeted and there was no Luo? And there was not a Luo beating a Luya? No. You Kenyans speak the truth, man. It is the violence of the Halwalis who had paid money to the voters to come out. The voters never turned out. They ate the money. Thank you very much, the people of Kibra, for eating the money. In fact, after all, this was stolen money. Asante. Walikula pesa. Asante sana. Mukule tena. Mukule. People were collecting money. So people in Kibra, you see all over Zaluya, we speak the same language. My man, Martin Andati, was a candidate. He knows he can come on this television and tell you the truth, what was happening in Kibra. So when these people saw the lines, the queues are short, Musikie, they said the boss demanded the answers. Because whoever gave them the money was saying, why, what? Whereas in the other places, the queue peacefully, where the Luo community were, where the Kikuyu community were, and other tribes, the Kamba, things were so sweet. So sweet. Imran Khan, whoever Kofi was hammering his vote, slowly. The confusion was among us as Luya. I'm a Luya. I feel ashamed that it now forced the real MPs who gave out the money to go physically to look for these guys. Where is the money? What is happening? Why are people not here? And your watu walijisema haya, nyinyi mlikula pesa mingi huko, sasa mnaletea sisi peanuts. Your Excellency, that's where the trouble came from. If anybody has analyzed it differently, sorry. But that's the truth. Because even Martin is going to come here on this TV. If you say it was not true, he's coming to tell the truth. Tomorrow, Monday. What happened? So don't confuse. Don't go on the bubble to write us all these notes. Find the root cause. It's the money. It's the money. The people who are giving out money, corruption is in the elections. Kenya must fix its corruption. Enough is enough. That brings me to a question, which I want to leave to my viewers. Does Africa need elections? Over to you, Miriam.
Indeed, a very good afternoon to you. And yes, already we've started, and the doctor has already charged the table. So now
I'm charged.
We'll just roll.
And anybody who wants
punches.
challenge me on these facts, telling me which Luo MP was beaten. Who? The MPs that were beaten are lawyers like me.
And specifically, there were two.
Two, Didymus.
And
yes,
Honorable Bonny.
They were looking for the people they had given the loot. And the lines in those areas had dried up.
Oh, that was the problem.
Yes.
So I was wondering.
Yeah. By 10 o'clock, the lines were not there. People had gone home. So these guys said, no, you went, are there no people coming to vote? Because they went the factors of Kibera elections. Can I read them out?
Yes, please.
Yes, just give me the chance. I don't take prisoners. That's why I went to school. And I said the truth. What will you do? You kill me, I will die once. My children will take over. Let me read the factors that are creating Kibera, a problem in Kibera. And I wrote this article this morning. The legacy trend found out the following things. Bad mouthing. Using wrong metaphors. That's one factor. Note them down. Foul mouthing by leaders of parties. Foul. Vulgar, foul mouthing. That's one factor. The second factor, names like foul mouthing means metaphors like a bedroom. If you use a bedroom to a local man, a man who has not gone to school in Kibera will interpret that, and the man who likes Raila Amolo Odinga as an enigma of his political career life will say, "Awa wamekuja kutoa bedroom ya baba." They will fight you. You have caused the violence.
It's not personal.
It's personal. Bad mouth, bad words, bad metaphors. And the leaders went to Kibera drumming that thing, bedroom. Duale was on it. The deputy president was on it. You see, you are caught. These are people who are charged. And
also the other side, the ODM side also responded by saying, okay, fine, then we are here to protect the bedroom.
Our bedroom. Yes. So you went and threw stones in bees by saying Baba's bedroom is invaded. You have caused, in any conflict resolution expert like me, I will send you out of the room.
That incites some level of emotion.
Yes.
Like what we saw there.
Bad mouthing, that's factor number one. Stop it. If Kenya wants to move forward, stop using bad metaphors. Wait, let's go. Factor number two, cash donations and corrupt money. That's a factor causing violence in Kibera constituency and other constituencies that will follow. If you are not careful, Kenyans, we are heading there.
But that is
and I don't want to be on the plane. Again, I don't want to be on the plane. Whenever I think about this plane, when some people have even made me look like I'm a small, stupid person, they don't even say thank you to me. I don't want to go to that plane to lose my job. I lost my job as a senior consultant of Sky News for standing up in ICC against Ocampo. So I have a right to talk about this stupidity. I have right, even whether not here, if they say no, I will talk even louder there. It will be worse that way. Please, we can't have this violence. I'm an African and I'm entitled to say what I'm supposed to say. I'm not Miguna. I have not said anything bad about anybody. I'm telling the facts because physically I went 263 times to the ICC in order to get some people out. Now today, we are here. We are screwing the climate. Donating money, corrupting money. Corruption, money was donated. That's a factor. Factor number 3, tribes, tribalism created a very big insecurity in Kibra. People played, especially we Luya people. Went there, we say, Fevaruya, we created chaos there. Hello.
Can you translate that for us, please?
Hello. We said we are Luya people. We want the vote to go to Luya Mariga. Mariga, no, not the other one, Mariga. You know, there are two, there's one I don't like to pronounce his name. Mariga. We play, we must, if a player has been defeated to play football, how can he play politics? The legs are broken already.
He retired, I think, because of his
yes.
So,
If he had man of Betty, Betty, Elizabeth, Mazenge, good. You say, how could he play? Someone has given him another Mazenge. Then he brings it to us. To the people of Kibra, hapa? Wacha, tuende. Factor number 4. Sindio ulitaka, wewe ndio uliniambia nisome.
No, whatever you had for breakfast today, I think tomorrow I'll try to get some of that.
You better increase. Because it is becoming hot in here. Factor number 4. Tribalism. Unaona? That is a root cause in the Kibra elections. Why is it that the intelligence officers, the DCI and other people investigate? Why is it that only one tribe?
And let's not even say one tribe, because the locals, the Luos and the Luyas,
yes,
really didn't fight.
They didn't fight. There was no Luya, no Luo fighting. It is one ethnic group. Either the Kisi, who talk the same way like us. That is why we must find the root cause of Kubira. Hapana kupisha munaenda hapa closing it with Twitter handle. Twitter muna tweet nani. What are fed up? People, I wish some of these people knew how this population of Kenya is really fed up with them. I wish they knew. I'm telling you, I am a commoner. I live around the public here. I hear what they say. What these people say. Even some of us are collateral damage. We could die for nothing. Hey, I'm telling you. You could sit down and listen. You see what they talk about the government. And then we are doing silly things of mixing, bringing metaphors that bring chaos. You go to Kisumu and tell people that we have entered the Baba's bedroom in Kondele.
Inciting violence.
You are inciting violence. Let people be told the truth. Then they come now, they are saying the DCI should investigate. Actually, it should start by investigating those hate words. Which bedroom?
And there's some image that has been shared widely. At first, it was a bit funny, but when you look at it, really, of former Senator of Kakamega, Mr. Boni Halole, and the stones.
Bring the image there with stones.
It's quite disturbing.
The people who are stoning Halole are not Luos.
No.
No.
Okay, they're the people who thought they're not been given.
Yes, there are people who are stoning him are Luyas. Don't, please. Why do you hide these things? The people who stoned Halwale are Luya people. Martin in that, and that is coming here. And it's going to blow the whole thing up. Who was doing what, where money was coming, because they tried to bribe him, he refused.
But that image.
Where is Chebukati in this election? Factor number 3, I'm coming. Number 4, I've given Today, I'm charged. If you want to read, you can read this post on my line. I don't write these rubbish things. I write real English of Shakespeare. I don't write these small things here.
There you go. That is Dr. Boni Halole. He's actually
that is
medical.
This man was not fighting a Luo. He was not throwing stones back to the Luo community.
But even
he was throwing against the people he wanted to ask, where is the money?
But doctor,
they said, where did you get it?
But regardless of who he was going to answer these stones with, but the youth over there and the number of people I saw that were coming after him, he was even endangering his life, a matter of fact, because how many youths was he going to fight? How many people was he going to beat with these stones? So I think that he was putting himself in a very precarious situation. And this image is, for me, it's very disturbing on different levels, being that he is a leader. And he should have, seeing that perhaps things were going out of hand, he would have done the right thing. That is just to leave and make sure he is safe.
Yes.
And make sure that, the situation does not escalate.
You see,
even for his own safety.
Maybe you get it clear.
Yes.
By 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock,
there were not people voting in that.
There were no queues
in a specific
in the rural area. In the rural polling assumed.
Strongholds.
Strongholds.
Kibra, because I would imagine it's a multi.
There were no queues. So people started saying, what happened to the people who were promised to come? So these guys from the intelligence gathered, inside intelligence, from even some of the candidates themselves who are loyal. I'm not speaking out of nothing. I'm speaking, and I will bring one candidate here who was part of the ballot, who was approached to be given money, millions, to get out. He refused. He refused. So these guys, after seeing the queue was over, the returning officers were yawning. Nobody was coming. Look, that's not Luo. Those are the type of pictures. So a whole MP went in.
A whole medical doctor.
How do my children see me?
A whole leader.
Please, my good 80 children, if you see me reach to this stage, please come and carry me. Contribute some money to take me home. Look. Oh.
It's just terrible.
Oh. Me, I told His Excellency, the Deputy President, that don't ever touch this man. He's not a member of Jubilee Party. He has no card for Jubilee Party. Neither has he got a shirt like me. I have several shirts in my wardrobe of Uhuru, Ruto, everything. I have them because I campaigned so hard, even broke my hand. Nobody has ever, nobody gave me money nobody, not even a single coin, to go and heal this hand. It was broken. It was broken, this hand. Thanks God, hallelujah. Nobody paid for the medical bill. I was campaigning. But I did not carry stones.
Doctor, these are some of the leaders that we elect as the citizens of this country. And then we wonder why our counties are the way they are. We wonder why the services have not reached the citizens as should have.
Mindset, we are finished.
Mm-hmm. What does this say about us as Kenyans and the kind of leadership we vote in?
I hope His Excellency is watching. If BBI does not include a whole chapter on elections, on how to manage elections in Kenya, we would be in a very big cul-de-sac. Cul-de-sac. Let me speak that bad language. I don't like to speak French. I hate them. What do I need from there? To eat frogs? So look at the whole scenario. The whole setup is point number 5. I'm still gunning for you.
Yes.
Root causes: a bad election management. IEBC is the worst nightmare that will cause chaos for the people of Kenya again. And we better talk about it. The mainstream television, they are bringing Mexico opera. Boko, opera. They are interested in money. They are interested in money. This television, we are not interested in money. We are doing for free, voluntary. Our heads are not paid. They are not paid. We are doing for free. We are not paid for the intellectual rights, for the information we put forward here. Am I wrong? We do it for free. IEBC is a problem here. If you don't get IEBC out of this Chebukati man should walk quickly and go and marry Evelyn Akombe. Yes, because Evelyn Akombe is working miracles to destroy everything that was left. She left, she disappeared. She's a master of international conspiracy. I've caught her twice in Cambridge University. My Ugandan friends, colleagues I was with in school were a part of the Electoral Commission of Uganda. They listened to everything they were doing. So next time, Matanga's eyes everywhere. Mr. Chebukati, if you say nga, I bring it out. Nga, say it. And I tell you what you did in Cambridge, what you were planning. Electoral Commission should be disbanded. This one of Kenya should go. If we were at 64 and we don't tell the truth, then what about the children of 30 you are training to do what? The Electoral Commission should go. They first started by bringing in Mariga, despite the fact that the papers were not even correct, his age was not correct, nobody stood up. Kebukati read a statement, use hallelujah again. Hakuna,
But I think, Doctor, because there are lots of pertinent questions that were raised then. Now that the by-election is over with, and I trust there will not be anybody going to court to petition anything. Now that they're over with, can we go back and relook some of these things? Because if you keep
hope so.
If you keep sweeping them,
he wanted to please one wing of Jubilee. You please them, but Mr. Chebukati, if the parliament does not sweep you out, the people of Kenya and the BBI should sweep you out. Yeah, that BBI report should sweep this guy out. I wish they do it. They are not supposed to handle an election. The man nearly brought us to a dead end. You saw the dead end. There was one question that mimicking judge from Makweni, that lady, I don't know whether I call her money roundera or so whatever, because the judge Mwiru, money roundera, because there's allegations, allegedly. She asked one thing. Hallelujah. And you know, people, we have not talked, history must be written. Today I'm in very good colors, in very good spirit to tell someone, and should someone stop me.
And that's what I wonder.
This whole week and this whole month.
What did you have for
breakfast? I am gone. I don't care now because I've had enough. I lost everything. I stood for people. But I see the mistakes coming. They are coming back. They are haunting us. We are going the same route. I told Bashir, don't bring the French. Bashir brought the French. They overthrew him. Now they want to take him. I finished his case in the ICC.
And we have it today.
We have it today. Let's keep it there.
Yes.
Now, look, people don't listen to me because I am a black man. A black man. They have forgotten I studied these books of the white people and beat them. I'm one of the few people who got an A in master's degree in international relations and political science. An A, class A, first class. Apana hii second class honors zenyu mnapata huko Dar es Salaam University. Nakwenda Kampala, I was in Dar es Salaam University. Rubbish. So look, when I talk, let's reach Bashir. I will tell you the story. Today, catch me slowly. You are going to hear so many things. Okay. Look at this whole mess. Chebukati brought this mess to Kibra. a firm electoral commission should have disqualified Mr. Mariga. There would have been no violence. So IEBC is a factor.
It's a factor.
It confuses people. It doesn't. Do you know, I was telling you the story of that woman of Makweni, who doesn't speak English, who can't read her own paper. Justice Mwiru said, I want to ask you one question. One question is, where did the ballot papers spoiled go? Where did the spoiled pilot? Fellow Jubilee members, wherever you were listening to me, that was the end of our election. The IEBC could not explain to Kenyans what you do with the spoiled ballot papers. That was finito for our elections. There's nothing else. Not that Uhuru stuffed these boxes with, no, that's all. That's why we lost. We lost 42 billion shillings preparing an election. And the IEBC let us down, brought us down on that question. That woman of Makweni, the lady Justice Mwiru, finished us with that question. And those who write books, you better write about it. The statement that broke the camel's back when she asked, where did you throw the spoiled ballot papers? IEBC could not answer.
They could not even fumble a response.
Thank you, God. 4-5 factors: bad mouthing, tribalism, money donations and corruption in elections, using bad metaphors, and there is another factor, the IEBC itself.
So these are some of the things that...
Those are some of the things. Foul mouthing, bad words. For example, bad words. You can't go to Kondele in Kisumu and say, Raila this, Raila that. I think your parts could be spread to Victoria.
Well,
Victoria.
Miguna tried. I mean,
and you saw.
He could testify.
So, the words that were used in Kibra, anybody, any analyst would follow and say, this word is going to cause chaos. Because Kibra Damu, Raila supporter Damu. Whether Luya or Kikuyu, there are Kikuyus who support Raila, though. Don't think they don't. Whether Kalenjin, there are many. In fact, in Kalenjin land, there are many people who support Raila.
But also...
And then when you go there and put stone, throw some, in the bins, and tell them, we have come to take the bedroom.
It's going to be a problem. But also...
When Miguna had just narrated a story, you saw the story of Miguna, which was very bad, embarrassing.
When he went to...
deep into the private affairs of His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, that type of narration should end politics of Machiavelli. Machiavellian politics is here. The Tower of Babel
is falling.
It is falling.
But also, yeah, and
it will fall hard. I am telling you, wait. It will fall hard. You get a few goons on Facebook who insult Matanga every day. They have been specifically paid to hammer Matanga every day. Oh, Fatiman, oh, Hippo, oh, this, go to Uganda, go there. So what? Even in Uganda, there can be television like this. Even in London, there can be even more powerful machinery. More powerful, which will release everything. Because in London, if I call you stupid, it's not a crime. The Prime Minister in London is called, you are very stupid. And he will not beat you. He will not arrest you. So be careful. Don't think that here is only way you can insult people. Powerful televisions are coming up where you cannot control. Very soon, you can't. And it will be all over Africa. Inakumulika kabisa kabapapa. And you are done.
Yes, and
Hey.
on the issue of Kibra, just before we go to another one, and I'd like us to just touch on this. There's a question I'd like to ask about this.
Go ahead.
Today's Sunday Standard headlines there, but also, you know what the late Ken Okoth did in Kibra. It brought the people of Kibra together, whether you're Luo, Luya, Kikuyu, Kamba. His leadership skills and his development agenda in Kibra touched all people in Kibra. So there are people who are not there going to vote because Imram is an ODM is having an ODM ticket, but because Imram used to work with the brother, so he understands the needs and the issues that affect the people of Kibra. He was working very closely, so they thought since Ken Okoth was doing very well and he served us very well, so based on his track record, we can trust Imram to take on the leadership and the agenda that the brother had and finish up this term that is remaining after the passing of his brother. So a lot of people are not voting, not only Luos vote or Luyas or voted for Imram, even other tribes, because they didn't look at him as whatever you're coming from.
This man touched
the agenda
he
that
he touched the hearts of people.
He connects.
He's
been working in the
local.
The
late MP was suffering, was sick. The man was on the ground.
Even before the brother was sick, because I sort of know the family from a personal level, but he was in touch. He used to work with them in the CDF, and they made sure that no money that was supposed to be given us as bursaries was diverted anywhere else. So out of that, the people of Kibra trusted him, regardless of the ethnicity, background, or whatever else that could come into play. But they trusted that, you know what, having seen what Ken Okoth did for us, perhaps we could trust Imram. So it's out of that they had the trust to and the confidence to vote in Imran. So that is that. And now, Doctor, I know we have to talk about other things, but on our viewers there, the Sunday Standard newspaper here says Ruto's Tower of Babel. Let me just read a bit of it and then I'll ask the doctor this question. I really want to understand where our DP is coming from. And now Deputy President Ruto turns his online platforms into a launching pad for scathing attacks against his critics, from political foes to media houses. No one is safe from his bare knuckle tirades in the DP's online universe. He is the king and you are either with him or against him. And I'm seeing here a lot, and sometimes I've been seeing a lot of his tweets, and sometimes he's trying to address a matter with the president. And as last week here we were saying, and I think when we were talking about the Chief Justice...
Before you hold it there, before you go further, we would like the Standard to print, we also answer him. In fact, some of, like my tweets, are more deadly. Yes, we have answered him. They can't print them here. They are more challenging intellectually. Intellectually, more challenging. I have been answering him.
Yes.
And he has never blocked me. He can't even answer. Try. Because we want to, you have come on this field. Let's do it. Let's do it. Because that's the only way. You can't hide under. And then, if there is a war, I wish the Standard also looked at Deputy President Ruto's wall and printed what people write. And for good journalism, the Standard newspaper, next time, don't print this type of paid Machiavellian headline. This was paid by... we know.
But also,
in fact, one of these days, huyo mtu atashikwa kwa editorial room anaenda huko kuchange story.
Kabla mtu ashikwe. Now, here's my point. Because sometimes I read, I follow the DP and I see his tweets sometimes. And sometimes you feel this is something that he should have brought it with the president. Him as the deputy president of a country, as a leader that people look up to for leadership and for whatever it is. He is a leader of this country and is respected in his capacity as the deputy president. When you look at some of these things, especially here I was reading, and I think this was directed to the president, he was wishing the president a happy birthday, and then as he finishes there, he says, as we agreed to do when you retire, remember, you know. So this is something, these are messages that is subtle messages that is trying, and a lot of time it seems as if it is directed to
I wish the Standard, if the Standard newspaper is credible at all, if it is not a paper for wrapping meat, they should also write what other people write on the wall.
Yeah.
And look at it, 7 of us have challenged there's no material there. There's no material. Some of these materials useless. You don't tell us what is there. Why don't you talk about it? Why don't you talk about it in the cabinet? People don't want to know.
And that is my point.
BBI,
being that he's the vice president.
If you oppose BBI, oppose it with the president.
Talk it out with the president.
Yes, we don't. People don't. You know, leadership is very clear. These people are in the presidency together. I don't know why they bring a burden to the already burdened people. The deputies bring a lot of burden to the burdened people.
Sometimes you can.
He has now been defeated everywhere. He has come on Twitter to threaten people with big words. No way. Standard publish some of the things that some of us have answered. We have not quarreled. We have not insulted. Answer intellectually.
But also, I think what the Standard was trying to do is the manner in which
it might be even a group.
DP is trying to air his grievances or address some issues, which does not require the social media platform. Especially if he has an issue with the president.
Yes.
Can you please
direct the matter to the president? Don't kill Matanga.
The CJ, stop coming into the press conference and take your cell phone or book an appointment. Go to the president, because some of these things are not very proper when it comes to a public forum, especially when you're a national leader like the deputy
I bet you have hit it. That's the point. Look at the CJ.
But does it look
the
like
CJ cooled down and made a telephone call to the Minister of Treasury.
Do you think he's looking for
attention? He got the money.
Do you think the DP wants some level of attention? There's something he's trying to tell us from all this we've been seeing. Is he trying to address
No, but after you have been defeated,
he seems to be very frustrated.
After you have told the people, we want to show Raila in Kibra that we are there.
We're invading his
then later on, you have said a word. You have brought a very big metaphor, the bedroom syndrome.
It's a syndrome now.
You know, he went and explained when ajua mjama kama watu wanaingia kwa bedroom yako. Bedroom is a very bad. You know, this is African culture.
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
It's a heavy metaphor.
Those boys down in Kibera will interpret that somebody is sharing some fruits. Yeah, isn't it? Those things come. I know you want to run away from the subject.
I already ran
Let's
away.
Go.
Yes, so let's just go. Let's just go to South Sudan.
It is very bad, strange for your husband or my wife to hear that there is a stranger in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Also tackling the bedroom wall.
And that is a lot of youths who didn't even care now.
Yeah, it's a very bad metaphor that was used. Please.
And that
Mzee Dr. William, don't use these things. And Duale went there. Duale made it even worse.
Duale went to Kibra.
Yes.
What did he say?
Yeah. Duale went there to say, let's shake it in all corners. You know, you are talking to masses that are not able to interpret the metaphors properly.
But that must have incited the masses to go out and vote.
Yes.
You're not going to come here and try to disrupt our thing.
So they didn't know. One of the things that in political science I want to teach my people in Jubilee is don't use words that can encourage the opposition or the other side to vote more. That bedroom worked against Jubilee. Jubilee, this time, they had actually caught up with Baba.
They're doing very well.
Yeah, they had done, if they had a good, if Jubilee, let's balance this. If Jubilee had a good candidate.
Let's just start from there. I think that's
where
they
a good candidate, a well-organized candidate, it would have been neck to neck.
Very possible.
Very serious.
Yes.
But they had a candidate, a flawed candidate.
Flawed.
Yes. Flawed candidate.
From the
like Ocampo. They had a candidate who looks like Ocampo. A Betin. You can't bring a Betin to go and do what?
He went and took selfies. Because he could not vote, he didn't have the voters.
If Jubilee had a very good candidate in Kibra today, Baba would have had a problem.
True. That is very true.
Yes, because the people somehow started understanding. But then Jubilee relied more on pocket money.
Oh.
That now people started, the reports started going back to the headquarters. The money you give does not reach the ground. So physically, the Khalwales entered the battlefield with Didymus Baraza. They went there now asking Baluya,
why did
so people turned on them.
And Doctor, why did they make it a Luya thing? Well, Kibra is a place of all, it's a melting pot of all tribes here in Kenya. Why did they make it a Luya thing that Khalwale and Didymus were the...
For me, on Khalwale,
you've given up.
I've not given up.
Yes.
He's an leader.
Yeah.
He better start behaving like an leader. Two, Khalwale is like a Kofi Annan. The late Kofi Annan, he has bad luck. When you touch him, you lose the election. You lose everything. So whoever wants to use him in the future,
caution.
I cautioned the DP the other time in my post on here. Because you will not destroy this post. They are here. In fact, I have 6 pages, very well organized blogs. You hit me, I hit back. And now this is the season to rearrange the way it is going to come. It's well organized.
You've started your Christmas early, but we'll talk about it later towards the end of the show. Can we now go to South Sudan?
Thank you very much. Not South Sudan, Somalia.
Oh, sorry, Somalia. And the legitimacy crisis depends. And is Somalia a satellite state?
Viewers, thank you very much. On Kenya, that's where we end. We now move very swiftly on Somalia. As you know, this program is Africa Showdown. Africa Showdown is a program that selects topics that are ranging, they are needed to be talked about in Africa. I want to take this opportunity to thank the International Court of Justice for having listened to some of my complaints. And as you are aware, some people might not be aware, I was interviewed in London by the Deputy Registrar of the International Court of Justice. I gave my submissions quietly. I returned. I also met the lawyer, Muna. I told her that there was no need of you being in the case of Somalia and Kenya because the case was fake. I told her that the people who sold the blocks are thieves and they might have taken this man to the terrorists. That small prime minister of Somalia, the smaller one, short, the Norwegian, is not height to my height. Yeah, he's a very bad man. He has got a very big trail. I'm following so many things. And I don't want to say it here. Wait, just wait. Watch me. Since you said that, what breakfast did I eat? Very nice. Wait. The Somalia issue, Somalia is again being used in this region as a satellite state for America, Norway, France, UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. These countries are using this nation. These countries are using this nation to create a war in this region. I have to be very frank and let Africans understand me. I am crying before this war erupts. Okay? It is being used as a satellite state because of the Prime Minister, who is Hassan Harie, who sold hot air oil blocks in the Indian Ocean. Because of the pocketing of $50 million pounds, and more money that was pumped in, which involves 11 members of the House of Lords in the United Kingdom. A very serious case is going on, quietly. I am not an investigator, but let it work. I'm out of it. I've told you the truth. Somalia is being used as a satellite state within the region to create a proxy war that we in Kenya and Uganda and other countries don't want to fight. So if there are leaders listening to this, we have succeeded in dismembering that Somali judge on the bench. He will retire on 20th of March, 2020. Isn't it?
And the case is meant to start.
Thank you very much.
In June.
Yes. So don't I deserve accolades?
You look like you're a gift.
Why are you looking?
That has been wrapped.
That judge is not going to be on the panel. It helped Kenya to reassemble its wrong. Because they said, do we bring, I put in the court. People don't give me credit. But one day you Kenyans give me credit. Someone was locking this case in his cupboard. The Minister of Foreign Affairs here did not want people to touch it. Today I'm open. Walk with it, carry it. Hey, Attorney General, carry it. They didn't. Activism. You want to win an international case, always do this. When I am not here and the voice will not be there and I have been taken to my maker, always use international activism. International activism has made Cameroon, Biafra, Cameroon, to be known. Was there anybody? I shouted about Amazonia. 3 years I've been shouting Amazonia. America has come to my rescue. International activism has made ICC useless to Americans. I shouted about ICC. International activism again, Matsanga. There is no other African who has ever written 21 applications in ICC except this mouth. And it is there on record on ICC website. They haven't rubbed them off. Go and check. So international activism is the only solution to international cases. Don't hide them in your offices in the cupboard and say, I am handling it. You are handling it where? When you knew London yesterday. You're a small kid. You have been given a ministry. You knew London yesterday. Some of us knew London when? Long time ago. I was in London when people were in school. Yes. You want me to say a lie? I was in the rebel trenches with Raila fighting for freedom here in Sweden, in Norway, London, in Paris. We have eaten chips together. When people were still just reading first degree, then today now, they have come out and they say, hey, I know more than Wape. Just use international activism. Somalia has become an international satellite system that is going to cause war in the region. Any questions?
No, I think you've answered.
Before Mohammed comes.
And I don't know what happened. Did you chase him away while I was away?
Yes, he has been sick.
He doesn't come here at all.
This man, Mo Abdallah from Mogadishu. There is another one who has come for us here. He's here.
Abdi Samad is gone.
Yes, they have no argument to make. They know very well their prime minister is the cause of all this tension between Kenya and them. The earlier they throw the prime minister out, the better. Because the prime minister of Somalia is the one who sold. He lacks legitimacy. He wants to have legitimacy with Norway. He has crimes he is committed in this course of disposing of these other assets in Indian Ocean. He got the money, part of the money is in terrorist hands. It ended up in terrorists. Some of them are here. Don't ask me any question now, you can blow it. They are here. They helped to kill people here. They are here. Using the money from the same thing they have killed people. Time has come for blowing out the international community to help us to get rid of these terrorists. They are here. Some of them are here. They have been using that money to kill us. I'm getting impatient. The sooner, I'm getting impatient. They are here. We want to find the root cause of why we're being bombed. Why Kenya is being bombed. Why? They are here. Why my Ugandan people are being killed? They are here. If people can't deal with them, let me tell Museveni to deal with some of these guys. They are here. They got the money. They got the money. And for us now, Kenya and Uganda have suffered. Our troops are in Somalia. Experts in foreign affairs, they can talk until they go to mass. You never bring back that relationship. It is spoiled by Qatar, Norway, United States of America, France, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, that is arming Somalia, Turkey, that is training 1,000 pilots secretly outside AMISOM and Eritrea. Said that I don't talk the truth. You die once, baby. Yes, they are arming. They have destroyed. They are killing. They are going. Look, if this case, thanks God, this man they insult every day arrived there in the 30th of August. Everybody was helpless. Mohammed is there now. They have arrived. So Somalia changed the prime minister. Vote him out. He's a conduit of international terrorism. He's a conduit of international money laundering. He's a conduit of international hijack. He's a conduit, and it's going to cause us trouble. Anything else?
I think you well put. I don't think I even need to add anything.
Mohammed Shafi. That's what I do. That's what I do. Your prime minister is a conduit of all the things I've just mentioned. And I have evidence. Don't force me tomorrow to do a full program and deliver them here. If you want me to do that, I do that. I'm a bad boy.
Okay, so now do we move because I see that it's just a few minutes to 3:30, so we have about half an hour or so to
to finish.
And let's now talk about South Sudan.
South Sudan.
Are you disappointed?
No. Mm-hmm. After listening to the people who were in the meeting in Kampala, especially the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, who is my fellow friend. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Dr. Ruakana Rugunda, telling me we are the only people who know this South Sudan conflict. I swear in the name of God, and anybody pretending to know it is wasting time and money, government money. And I'm proudly telling you, those who wish to use me can come to me. If you don't, it's up to you. I'm not bragging. I'm not bragging, but I'm telling you, as I speak now, Riak is listening to me. I've told him I'm going to speak about it. I want to tell Riak, I told him. Now I've told him the name of the country that has got a resolution. So it is up to him on November 20th to start talking and implementing. He has 100 days left. 100 days left.
Is that starting from the 12th?
Whatever, between the Kampala communique, which I've read, and I want to thank the Kampala Authority. I want, for the first time, again, not first time, I want to thank Museveni. You know, for me, I give credit where it is due. And the people hate me because at times they want me to insult my president. I don't do that. There are times where he does good things, like this one, to salvage the South Sudan peace process. Thank you very much, Mr. President. You listened to some of us who give ideas through your officers like Ruakana Rugunda and the rest, who are minded, you know? They are good-minded people. They listen. The rest of militarists, there are militarists there who want to use military machinery. Level-minded, like Rugunda, can listen to you. I listened to the discussions and I was briefed of the discussions. I'm satisfied that the 100 days and tomorrow I will also tell that country, plead with it not to surrender the resolution.
To keep the pressure.
Yes, not to surrender the resolution. Not to surrender the resolution. I give a credit where it is due. And I'm going to do it. And publicly, in writing. Because there is a resolution waiting to take leaders of South Sudan to a tribunal. And that country is in Europe. Yes, it is studying the communique, what came out of Kampala. They will lessen down the pressure. And we thank President Museveni for having called this meeting urgently. Thank you. Yes. Also, Salva Kiir, you are my brother. And you helped us to get peace in Uganda. Stand up, stop talking to Rainbagger. Rainbagger will deliver you to this court faster than yourself going there. I'm giving just shots now. The money you are giving Rainbagger, give it to Matanga. I will help you. Because Ambassador Rainbagger is the one who took Kenyans to ICC. So how do you take him to prevent a United Nations tribunal? The tribunal is on the way. 100 days. Now you can juggle your security arrangements. You can pour. And I call upon the international community to help the South Sudanese. They need money. The country needs money to sustain the peace process. Without the money, the peace process will go in the drain.
And I hope that they'll not take advantage of this added 100 days for them to just do nothing. And then 10 days to go, that's when they're coming up and telling us, you know what, I don't think even the days that you are added, we're going to be able to deliver what we're expected to deliver, because that we've seen has been the case. They're giving time and some extension, and then they're very quiet. They're not giving anybody any update what is happening. And then before you know it, 2 weeks towards the deadline, that's when they're coming out with all these manner of, excuses and reasons. And some are legitimate, but I think that they should be able to be giving update every step of the way, so that the world and the people who are concerned and who feel as they have been in the process of finding peace in South Sudan, they know what is happening, and so some of these things are able to be taken care of before the deadline. So I'm just hoping that this 100 days they will not just sit and go back and forth and argue and all that, and then nothing is able to be achieved. And then when they reach towards the deadline, and now they will seek for another extension. I hope this will be the last extension that the leadership of South Sudan will be given, able to for them to have to form this unity government that the people of South Sudan and the country of South Sudan really, really need, so that the country can able to move forward. And at this point, they're just at a limbo. There's nothing is really happening in South Sudan. The South Sudanese out there who wants to come back home, but if their security, forget even the opposition security, if their security is not guaranteed, they can't even come back and invest in the country. They can't come back and start rebuilding the country. So the people need that peace. So this should be the last time, Doctor, that we'll hear about an extension of time for South Sudan. Otherwise, I think now they'll be playing with other peoples and other stakeholders who have given, other countries who have given themselves in helping South Sudan, who have accepted the South Sudanese refugees across the world, and who have been giving their time and their resources and just coming in and supporting South Sudan. So I hope they don't take this help and this love that people have shown towards South Sudan for granted, and just think that they will ride on it, and at the end of the day they don't get to do the right thing that will serve South Sudan as a country and the South Sudanese across the world. So I have mixed feelings about this, but I think it was necessary for the extension of 100 days.
Today is 10th November.
Yes.
News just coming in from the ODM headquarters is a headline: Ruto thrives on voter bribery, lies, and anger. What? There you are.
I told you he's a frustrated man from this headline. I think it's
you
quite
can see.
Yeah.
The ODM people have just summarized just a few, 10 minutes ago, they have just brought a news source. I am on wire, so I receive all the wires. I'm on wire. Yes, I don't want to lie you. Every news in the world, I clock it. Remember, I'm still a member of the Commonwealth Journalists Association, of which I am vying for the chairmanship of the Commonwealth when it sits in Rwanda, Kigali. I will be vying for that chairmanship, which I will win very nicely. I'm not like a Faki. When I win that, then I will come for Faki. I'm going up. That's the place where I belong. So thank you very much. Junet has just sent us that link from the Star newspaper. Those who can read right now, breaking news there. They have said Ruto thrives on lies, bribery, and anger.
Would you say he's a
Did I say anger management somewhere, yeah? Foul language.
Well, you just brought up anger management, but sometimes that helps. Sometimes you just need to go somewhere and speak to somebody if you feel you need some
So there you are.
I'm not saying the DP needs that.
Let's move on. We have how many minutes left on our 30 minutes?
About 30 minutes.
Yes, we are okay. 30 minutes, we shall finish.
Yes.
Now we come to a subject that I am most conversant with.
Sudan.
South Sudan.
Yes, we looked at South Sudan.
We looked at South Sudan. By the way, I also have been in touch with Dr. Riek Machar. I only talked about Salva Kiir. I've learned now to balance. Dr. Riek Machar, I've told him there is a danger there. That country is not laughing. And it has all the money, the ability, the best diplomats on planet Earth. They will deliver that resolution, and we shall find ourselves in Arusha, Tanzania, where the tribunal can sit. And it is very difficult to get out of the tribunal once your name is mentioned. So South Sudanese leaders, please take it seriously and utilize this time while time lasts. Thank you very much, viewers. Let's move to Sudan. In Sudan, are ghosts of ICC haunting the nationhood? The answer is yes.
Why would you say so?
The answer is yes, because President Bashir, the case of Bashir is a case of indictment for ICC itself. Why is ICC very eager to lay hands on Bashir? I want Sudanese to listen to me. And I think I passed a message to General Daglo last night through my emissary that be careful, General, that this ICC and this situation of saying you hand over Mr. Bashir, you might hand over yourselves.
I think that's why Daglo will not do it.
Yes. So what Sudanese should do now is healing, is a national redemption strategy similar to that of Kenya. They should forget this witch hunting which they are using now. The witch hunt that Al-Mahdi is saying we must kill Bashir. This won't bring peace. Another military coup is in offing. Once you touch Bashir, there will be a military coup in offing.
Because if you touch Bashir himself did not physically go there and kill people. It is the army and the people that were under
So
him.
the army is the one that has overthrown Bashir.
Yes.
Therefore, commanders within the army will be lined up in the ICC.
Very true.
So don't fall to the trick of Fatou Bensouda. When she comes to Khartoum, lock her in the cells. Please.
All right.
When Fatou Bensouda steps in Khartoum, put her in the cells. Lock her up. After all, she has not answered for the role she played in Yahya Jammeh. She was a minister of constitutional affairs in Yahya Jammeh, and she managed to finish several journalists. She has not played a role. She has not come out to tell the world. We are waiting for her to remove herself from ICC. Then we come for her. She has to go to the TRC, Truth Justice Commission in Gambia. Madam Fatou Bensouda, as long as Matanga lives, you are in trouble. Because the president there came through my efforts. Everybody knows. There is no Gambian who can leave me dying in the streets of London or the streets of Banjul.
Yes. And of course, Sudan's Forces for Freedom and Change coalition is urging the country's government to hand over former President Omar al-Bashir to the International Court of Justice.
No. To hand it, let the Sudani law. There is a law in Sudan. Darfur is part of Sudan. If Bashir has committed a crime, try Bashir in Sudan. Let the people of Darfur receive justice by seeing the man who might have harmed them tried in Khartoum. There is no need of airlifting Bashir into ICC. No. Bashir's case is a fraud. Ocampo obtained $17 million from an NGO in the United States of America. to indict Bashir. I filed a complaint as a whistleblower. The chief prosecutor removed all the paperwork. They have even erased it from the... You see, the complaint was there, everybody has. They forgot I have my own copies where they answered me. So Bashir's case is not easy, as Fatou Bensouda wants to finish with one African or 3 African heads of state or prominent people in Africa in jail. Her term of office ends somewhere October.
Next year.
Next year. Be careful, my fellow Africans. The actions that you do here can deliver you there easily.
All right, and you know, Sudan has been going around and trying to seek support other countries, and because it wants to be removed from the list of countries that are sponsoring terrorism, and that label has really caused a lot of some economic turmoil in Sudan because no investor wants to come to such a country. So perhaps with their efforts, do you think there's some underhand companies like Enough and this? That are very active in Sudan, could they be behind these new calls by the opposition calling for, Mr. Bashir, the former president there, to be handed over to the ICC? Do you think there's some underhand and people who are pushing for this agenda there and not something that is coming from the Sudanese themselves?
Moses Kuria has said, just sent me another message. He just said I should read. He said that at the Thanksgiving ceremony at ASK Nikeno, Muranga County, Senator Irungu stated that Mount Kenya region is President Kenyatta's bedroom. I beg to disagree. This is Moses Kuria. Now, the whole of Kenya is President Kenyatta's bedroom. He was voted for by Kenyans. As someone who has paid ultimate personal price due to balkanization of Kenya into ethnic fiefdoms and bedrooms in the past, I'm sure President Kenyatta would not frown at Senator Kangata, would frown at Senator Kangata's political bedroom belong to private lots who need as much prayers as condemnation. I told you that this word bedroom starts spreading into bad words. It was used in Kenya, in Kubira, it caused trouble. Now it is spreading. He has just sent it to me. Because last week I hit Moses Kuria very hard when he said something he doesn't know. I have never been very comfortable with a friend who waffles. Stick to one lane. Me, I've stuck to one lane. I've stuck to one lane of Kamwana. I helped. I did my job. He's a friend. I've never gone there to say, give me coffee. No, I stuck to my poverty. That's where I am. And I'm very happy that way. Because I'm Pan-African, I'm a volunteer. I didn't have an agreement with any of this gig. I saw Campo going to tear this nation, to kill these young men, lock them up over fictitious evidence. Not that people did not die. People died. Remember, I did not attack the court. I attacked the manner in which the case was. Sudan case, once you touch Bashir, you have brought Matsanga in the limelight. I am going to be the boy of the world to explain the bank statements how Ocampo got $17 million to indict Bashir. Bring it on, Fatou Bensouda. Yes, you know I will leave history. I will leave history. In Uganda, we left history of having local courts. There are LRA commanders who are in court. Our ICC equivalent. They are answering charges. But because Onen went outside our management of the local courts, he was caught in Central African Republic. You cannot charge him. The international community takes care. But if he agreed and returned home, he would go through Mataput, the jumping of the egg, the alternative mechanisms
conflict resolution.
And we finished. Northern Uganda, hallelujah, is very peaceful. My Luo community, the best color of people, the beauty, they are there today. They can die of hunger, of poverty, but not on war. The beautiful tall ladies of the Luo land.
You think they're tall ladies in South Sudan? I see them
in northern Uganda.
Also.
Yes. It's part of it. Beautiful.
It's very.
Acholi, Lango, West Nile, Karamojong, Teso. These are the areas that were affected. They are peaceful now.
And that is a
11 years, no gunshot from an armed struggle. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Rugunda. Thank you, Dr. Riakamacha. Thank you, Chisano. Thank you, Chikwete. Thank you, Chikabaki. Thank you, Thabo Mbeki. These are the people who helped. Thank you, that other guy called Jinping, although he's a French mercenary. You see, if we had brought in a man like a Kwango called General Obasanjo, he would have sold us out. But because of Chisano, we are able to get peace in Uganda, permanent peace in northern Uganda. Over 70 to 80,000 rebels returned home, abducted people returned home. The country moves on. President Museveni gets more votes in the area of northern Uganda than elsewhere in the country. Thank you. I did it. I'm happy, although I was not paid.
Very well.
Yes, that one I told you, I promised, when it touches there, I'll always say, my money. He never paid me. European Union was going to pay me. He stood in front of these presidents and told a lie that he was going to pay me. I never got the money. So ask your people whom you directed to give me the money. I never got the money. I got only $48,000. The rest I never got. So don't ever put any blame on me. I am a free man. I lost money. I lost everything. But I'm happy the peace holds. Don't stop this question of telling me, oh, come here, come and do what? My money I lost. $342,000 of allowance, which European Union ambassadors were paying. Riaka is there, was in Kampala. Ask him, he's in Kampala today. Ask him. You never paid me the money. And you want me to laugh. I was not paid. Whether I'm going to the grave, I will sing that money because I would rather leave it for my children. If I had been killed by Kony, where would my children be? Where would they be? I have my children are like your children. Where would they be? Yours are in comfort. Mine would be Harrods. So those who come here telling me, you come nicely. Anywhere we meet in the plane, let's meet. Come nicely, Kabisa. Yeah, because that is my money. Whether in London, whether in Zimbabwe, where I would say it. It's not because I'm in Kenya. I would say it. And the president knows the truth. I am not against him. despite the money, my money being paid. Are you not ashamed not to pay some more money? Yet people were stealing money in defense. Can't you have the morals? If it was a Munyankole, it would have been paid. But because I'm not a Munyankole, I was not paid. That's the type of pain I have. I will not be here being trodden on like this. But thanks God, that Mugabe helped me and paid the bills that I had. May your soul rest in peace, Gabriel. Then you invite Mnangagwa and yeah. You think I don't know what you told him? Thank you very much, viewers. May God help. I know everything. Here.
Speaking about Mnangagwa, we're now in his country. We're now in
Zimbabwe.
Yes.
It is. The new notes in Zimbabwe might tackle the problem. Give a credit where it is due. We must stand firm to support Zimbabwe. It must come out of the doldrums of economic sabotage and other economic embargoes that the United States of America has heaped on them. The United States of America is simply against. It is using its embassy in the Republic of Zimbabwe to undermine the government of Emmerson Mnangagwa. The earlier Emmerson Mnangagwa breaks it out, the better. There is a breakthrough in the economy. The economy is steady. The new notes have come like a Kenyan notes. You can now pay with $5, $2 in that format. Slowly, if they build it upon and make $100, and then do what we call command economy. I've told them every time. Unfortunately, there is another person there who is an agent of the French. I don't want to name it now, but I will name later. Whom I have found files of. I'm very good at those things. I found files in Addis Ababa. I am very happy. Thank you very much, comrade in Addis. You did a great job. I got every material on this person which I've been looking for in Addis Ababa. Kumbe, that's why they want to overthrow Mnangagwa. The French again are there.
For a regime change.
Yes. They are giving this small boy called Chamisa the money, the ability to destabilize the country, to call for regime change. But the dollar, the money, the new structures the Minister of Finance has put in place
will stabilize
the economy of Zimbabwe. And let's pray for it. Let President Emmerson Mnangagwa weed out the malcontents. Is that good English?
Malcontents, yeah.
Yes, malcontents. The malcontents of imperialism whose toxins are bringing chaos in the economy of the Republic of Zimbabwe. Otherwise, you are on the right footing. You have the will of people of Africa. Everybody calls upon America to remove sanctions. There is no need of sanctions. Sanctions harm local people. They don't harm leadership. Mnangagwa will travel, but the local Zimbabwean will not be able to get food.
Yes, indeed. And just last week, a delegation from the United Kingdom went to Zimbabwe, and the UK is turning up the heat on Zimbabwe now to take concrete steps towards political and economic reform, and has sent a fact-finding mission. They did that last week to Zimbabwe. So the report has been presented to the Prime Minister, Mr. Boris Johnson there. I think because Zimbabwe also has been pushing for it to be reinstituted back to the Commonwealth because it was removed.
Zimbabwe now needs to do again, but that one I will pass it over to my comrade Edie. I will do something miraculous with the Commonwealth. Don't worry about that one. You will be readmitted. You have scored all the marks that are needed for readmission.
But they're still having a problem with the human rights abuse.
There is no human rights abuse.
And political stability.
What about the human rights abuse in Nicaragua? What about in Afghanistan? What about in Iraq? What about in Syria? Who is asking why the Kurds are being left for slaughter? Why America has left Kurds to be slaughtered for slaughter?
But these people, you know, they apply these things very selectively when it comes to Africa.
Why? Nobody. Africans will say human rights. What? Why is America?
There's a double standard.
Leaving the Kurds to be slaughtered by Turkey?
And nobody's holding them back.
And nobody's holding Turkey back from daily bombardment, killings of the Kurds.
Syrians as well.
No, look, Kurds are Syrians. But now they have taken one province which they are killing them. There's slaughter. There's flow of blood in the Middle East as a result of American double standard policy of giving sanctions. Why do you want to stop? Why does Trump want to stop demonstrations in America and allow demonstrations in Zimbabwe? Answer me. Why does Trump want demonstrations in Zimbabwe? But when journalists ask him questions, he wants to slap them.
Very true.
What type of leader is this? Why have you left the Kurds to be slaughtered? The Kurds are under the mercy of the bombardment of the laser planes that are hitting from top, killing the Kurdistans. Don't forget we have a long-serving prisoner called Abdallah Öcalan, who was smuggled here from Kenya by the Turks and delivered in the jail. He's serving life sentence. Abdallah Öcalan. Why have we forgotten the Kurdistan issue in the Great Middle East? And you are coming for a smaller country called Zimbabwe to put sanctions. You left. You created ISIS. Obama created ISIS. There was no ISIS. Obama killed Muammar Gaddafi with Clinton. South Africa, President Zuma is part of the killing squad that killed Gaddafi. He delayed the plane. They delayed the plane. South Africa voted in Resolution 1970 of the United Nations General Security Council to dismember Libya. Today, Libya is a pariah state. Africa is not talking. We are still going on with this woman called Besuda coming. Now I have just received again news wires sent to me. Something that is happening, that the ICC wants to indict Libyans into the ICC.
Which Libyans in particular?
They have named the countries they want to take home. United Arab Emirates, Sudan, Jordan. They broke the arms embargo. So they are being referred to the International Criminal Court for action.
Which countries again?
UAE, the ones I've been telling you, the suppliers of General Haftar. Haven't I been saying here? I've been saying here.
Yes. So UAE?
UAE,
There's a country
Sudan,
I want to hear.
Egypt.
Sudan, Egypt.
Egypt.
Sudan also?
Yes.
Okay. Egypt,
the main Sudan.
UAE, I'm not surprised. Egypt, I'm not surprised. And who else? Why are we not hearing some countries being mentioned there, Doctor, who have been very active?
Turkey.
Oh, Turkey, yes. But still.
Jordan.
Okay, but still.
France.
All right, good.
Now, France itself, because France is hidden in Qatar, Qatar and the UAE don't work. Where you see Qatar, you see France, because Qatar has no drilling machines for oil. Learn this, you people. Pick the pen and write. Qatar has no drilling machine. Qatar calls France. Qatar is a puppet of Total Oil. Kenya sold gas in Lamu that to Qatar. No. It's Total Oil. And they are the same people telling the Somali Mogadishu government that we shall pay for your existence in the ICJ. Mark my words. Africa needs more of us to speak more. When Buhari is killing people in Onitsha, in Port Harcourt, in southeast Nigeria, nobody is talking. Matanga is talking.
So let's now just talk about Biafra.
The killings in Biafra, as we speak now, is bloody bath. It's a bloody bath. Mr. Buhari, what's your problem? You are 6.2 feet high. What is the problem? Your army has turned into a killing machine in southeast Nigeria. It is killing Biafrans on a daily basis. It is dismembering Biafrans. All young Biafran men are being tied, hands backwards, shot, put in. I have a video here. I don't want to show you. By Nigerian army, actually burying the man alive, shoot him, put on they go. It's not, it came from Onitsha. This is serious. The AU is watching. The world is watching. The world is giving red carpet to Buhari. Buhari is walking 6 feet, 0.2 high, tall, with his women, a fleet of them. And I'm told he wants to marry another one. Because the other one stole the money and banked it in the Citibank in New York. We have a problem. I've been keeping quiet, thinking they would come to their senses. But the problem has become too much. Now we need to speak on behalf of the suffering groups of Biafra.
And just the other day, the Biafra Nations Youth League came out and called for an immediate withdrawal of troops of the operation at Ilogu Ude. Remember, Doctor, some earlier this year, the Operation Python Dance. Remember when the government had that went to, it's sort of something that is meant to go look after and intimidate and cause harm and beat up, affecting the Biafrans. So this time around, the government of Buhari has another operation targeting the Biafrans. It's called Operation Atilogu Ude. So this means that whatever the activities that were being done by the Python Dance 1 and 2 is coming back, and now this region is in a complete crisis as we speak. And the movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra has said that, regardless of what President Buhari is trying to do and the intimidation and all that, Igbo will still go for Biafra, and they don't even want to be part of the presidential presidency of Nigeria. So yes, an operation meant to curb or curtail or target the Biafrans has already been set up by the government of Buhari again.
Thank you very much, viewers. I want to tell you frankly that what is happening in Biafra is pathetic. The world needs to stand, change its course, think about what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria is a state dismembered by Boko Haram in the north. Mr. Osuji is a judge of the International Criminal Court. Mr. Osuji cannot issue a warrant of arrest for the leader of Boko Haram. My fellow Africans, I therefore urge you to put pressure on President Buhari to recognize the human rights, to stop the human rights abuses against the people of Biafra. The killings are too many. The blood is too much. We need a crisis to end. It is deepening on a daily basis. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. And of course, with the formation of such an operation there, that means that this might be a beginning of another bloodbath, and we'll see more lives being lost there in Biafra. So we'll keep an eye on this, and we'll be surveying the situation, and we'll be bringing you any new information or news as that continues to develop. So now, Dr. do we just move swiftly to Cameroon and see what is happening there in Ambazonia, even as the death tolls continues to rise there? The same case as in Biafra.
The question of Ambazonia is not the same cry. But I want to take this opportunity to thank President Trump in his badness, bad as he is.
Very bad.
And the very crookedness of international policy.
Yes.
President Trump has recognized our voices. One of the voices that has been fighting for the people of Biafra and Ambazonia is myself and this television station. We are proud that the Americans that we met sometime, somewhere in Africa. 3 of you gentlemen, we delivered some serious information. You got it on Cameroon. You have acted on Cameroon. Act that way on Paul Biya. In fact, it is Paul Biya that Trump should deliver sanctions, not Uganda.
But it is coming slowly, though. Can you see how things are working out right now?
Why does Trump put sanctions on 2,000 Ugandans? He should put sanctions on Paul Biya. Something has come in on the wires. One president in Africa has now said enough is enough. He has cut off his relationship with France.
Which one?
It has just arrived.
Yes.
Things are hot. Hey, Benin president orders for decolonization of Africa through just news coming in. Hey, there you are, France, slowly. Now you will see France going in there, trying to overthrow him. Trying to overthrow him. America, you know, I am telling you, for the first time a head of state from Africa, currency region, has openly spoken about the political and economical strangulation
by France.
By France. And he has said his country is cutting off the ties. Thank you. Begin doing that.
Yes.
Meanwhile, you make sure your army generals are near you, because they will instigate a coup.
All right, so that's some interesting news development there.
Yes,
I'd like to see how France
our television does wonders. These are things you don't get from these so-called opera TVs. Oh, Citizen Opera. They are bringing Mexico. Every time, I don't feel like switching on Kenyan TV at all.
Yeah, I think it's too much.
I am even happy. You know, the Uganda TV, NBS, oh, they have good programs. The content is caricature. If they are not showing, they don't show this stupid opera from Mexico.
Cultural, African.
Yes, they have gone somewhere. They are showing the singers, Ugandan singers, how people have developed. This is very good. But the television in Kenya, the newspaper in Kenya, look at the headline.
There is a man in distress.
You are bringing us that Ruto's Tower of Babel. Everybody knows Why are you writing to us? It's a Tower of Babel. If someone has read the book, The Prince, again, read it. It's called The Prince. Then tomorrow we meet at 11.
And talk about it.
Talk about it.
I actually have it. I have.
You have seen. Mm-hmm. Was my analysis
very correct?
Correct.
Point, yes.
Yes. In the contemporary Africa, yes. President Uhuru Kenyatta left the power to some. You can't interpret it that way. Let me not interpret it because the DP will think I'm against him.
We don't want him tweeting again.
Yes, that. Right. Okay. But we ask the Standard to print our tweets. We hit him also. Only that they have chosen this, but he's on Twitter and we hit. Some of them he can't answer. This violence, you see, I'm telling you, Martin Andati is going to be here tomorrow. He will tell you exactly the violence in Kibura did not start in rural areas or Kikuyu areas or Kamba areas. They were in Luya areas where Luya people who grabbed money from somewhere went to get the people. Why are you not voting? Watu walikula pesa, walifichana kwa nyumba, walikataa kutoka nje, not gangs. People ate the money and they did not want to come out. Full stop. So don't kill these innocent people. Kill the people you were paying money to go and give the Kibura people. If I were the man, the only thing that the DP can save his career is to abandon Halwale.
You think Halwale is the sole
It's
problem?
bad luck, kabisa.
Halwale is just another issue.
No, it's bad luck. You touch him only. When najua iko watu Mungu amesha, there are people whom God does not like, but he has spared them. Halwale is like Kofi Annan. Kofi Annan went to the grave with a conflict, blood on him. The last assignment was Zimbabwe, was to finish Zimbabwe. And it did not work. He went to Syria. He left blood trail. The conflict in Kibra is those factors. Money, bad language, the root causes. Money, corruption, money, corrupt money being pumped into an election. Point number 3, the tribes, tribal animosity. And then intra-tribal conflict. There is a tribe. This time the tribe did not fight another tribe. Intra-tribal
conflict.
Yes, the Luya tribe itself. Why is it that all these MPs were beaten in the Luya area? Not in rural area. There is no Luo who threw the stone in the Kibura. Yeah. And then another big problem is IEBC. Remove it. Mr. Chebukati has had enough money. He has eaten a lot. He has dismissed so many of his friends. He has worked against them. He remains eating money and corruptly with that woman called, that woman there, who was talking very bad about President Kenyatta in Cambridge University. And she was talking to Ugandans who were my OG, OB, and OGs. We were together, we worked together. They listened. They told me everything. That woman hates President Uhuru Kenyatta very badly. The words she used there, let Chebukati go and work with them. Let Chebukati come and report those words to the intelligence system here. That there is a man, a fugitive lady called Rosalind Akombe, who was insulting the head of state. So how do you serve the head of state? During that time, Then at night you are sleeping with a combe. Then you did, yeah. We have evidence. The hotel where they slept in Cambridge, where was it? We follow you. Muslete. Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you, all of you. We have done our best in Africa. We shall continue to say the problems where they are, as we do without fear or favor. This show returns Sunday next week. It is a Christmas season.
And he looks like a wrapped gift in the shirt.
Oh,
it's a Christmas
there
shirt.
you are. That's a wrapped gift in a shirt.
It's nice.
Wrapped.
It's a Christmas. Normally, when you buy the wrappers, the Christmas wrappers, they have this vibe.
Yes. You know,
so
to have those good words from Miriam,
come on.
I'm very happy.
It's a lovely shirt.
Today I'm going to sleep very nicely.
Very good.
After comments, you rarely give comments. I will miss you.
I'll be here on Tuesday.
Yes, you. Miriam is doing her exams.
Yes. So this coming week,
exams.
in the morning.
Therefore,
yes.
all those who are who want to get used.
Yes.
Who want to get used to this body face.
This lovely shirt. You can come.
Lovely shirts.
You can come here.
No, I have lovely shirts. From now onwards, I will be. It's a season. I'm gonna wear only this.
It normally starts after Thanksgiving,
Yes.
which is the last Thursday of November.
In London, I'm doing the London way.
London way.
9th.
Okay.
In London, that tree is lit in the Trafalgar Square.
So right now it's already lit there.
Yes,
That's
it's
very
lit
good.
on Oxford Street. This is when people start buying.
Have you started buying Christmas?
Oh yes, they have started buying.
And have you started buying
If you,
Christmas
no,
presents?
if you are here, if you have Mama is in London, she needs to start buying.
And you?
Me, I rarely buy
You're
things
not
for
buying
Christmas.
anything for Mama? You should.
You
should get one and then with a nice wrapper and then
No,
give it to Mama.
Why are you not saying I should buy for you?
It's okay. Mine is taken care of. Don't worry. But I wouldn't mind. Christmas is. You said Christmas has already started over there. The spirit. So that's why we have to consider that. But it's.
Anybody who wants to buy me a Christmas present, wrap it in this type of shirts.
The nice gift wrapper.
Yes, I deserve. The Biafrans have been complaining so much,
Yes.
but they don't even. You see, if each Biafran was dropping a pound, or a dollar in my PayPal, I would not be starving of money. $1, drop it in the PayPal. I will speak more for Africa, but I'm doing it on my own, voluntarily. Am I wrong?
Merry Christmas.
Why are you not supporting me on this?
Of course, especially in Africa.
We need support.
We don't have a place where we're not under anybody's payroll.
Yes,
So, it's a
so
voluntary
we need
thing.
your support from Biafra, those in Amazonia. Drop $1 that is left. Our PayPal account is on account there. Drop it there. For us, $1, 100,000 people. We have about 14 million people so far watching us so far now. If each dropped $1,
it will go a long way.
we would have $14 million.
And we can send some
But
journalists.
the biggest problem, we can send journalists into Oneta, this place where they killed people. Operation what?
It's called Operation Atilogo Udo.
Yes, we can send them there. Well, these guys as tourists to bring us more information. But you people in Biafra, wherever you are, you have all this huge money, but you have never helped us. Gambians, I helped them. They never gave me even a cup of tea. But that is very good. May God help me to continue to talk frankly about Africa. And that is what we shall always do. Thank you very much. maybe if you gave me that money, I would have been killed by Buhari.
So perhaps it's a good thing.
It's a good thing to be independent,
yes,
and work independently.
Very true.
I want to thank this opportunity to take and just do a small prayer for Miriam as she goes for these exams, so that we can add there so many voices, Mr. Nganga included, and Mr. Prince.
Nganga is not even here.
And Mohammed Mohammed Salad.
Those are my people.
They are always, they ask where Miriam is. We want to pray for her so that the exams can go through nicely, so that in 1 week she will be here with us. Don't forget, we have shows in the evening on Tuesday. Diplomatic leaks. It is hot. And then on Wednesday, we have Matanga Africa Perspective.
Oh, okay.
Then Thursday, we have the Rio Punch. But Tuesday, diplomatic hits. Last Tuesday, it is hitting over 40,000 views. You have seen. It's big. I think the words we spoke there were taken seriously. And some of them we talked have come to happen. So be careful about Somalia being a satellite state to cause a proxy war. I want to thank God to give Miriam the courage, determination, so that she can do well in her exams. And I want to thank her for the tenacity and the steadfastness that she has conducted herself during and after this place in her studies. Just hold her hand ye and cross the bridge. Across the bridge, there is no sorrow. Thank you very much, God.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much.
This station, therefore, is for Africa, with Africa, by Africa, shall.